there's this bias of like radical transparency
Yeah.
and like radical honesty. And I think that ripples through the entire culture of the firm, your leadership style. And to the point I made before, Nick makes being a board member a lot easier, right? I mean, the way you handle the board, the way you communicate with the board as a result makes our jobs a lot easier.
And I think one of the things to navigate is probably one of the challenges CEOs have is if you run a company, you got to believe in it. I definitely, I bleed Gainsight and customer success, and I believe this is going to be huge. And you have to be willing to accept that you have challenges today. But those challenges don't take away from your long-term confidence. And so I believe this is going to be a huge company, and not more important than that this is a huge movement and profession, and we're going to be a part of it, right? And I believe we have challenges today that we have to work through. Acknowledging the challenges doesn't take away from your confidence. I think sometimes people feel like if you admit that you have any flaws that you don't believe, and people aren't going to believe in you. But sometimes maybe people get even more confidence if the leader is willing to admit their flaws and then solve them. Yeah.
It's funny, it goes back actually to a 360 that Nick and I had a few years ago. And I remember a specific discussion where the board was giving him feedback that you have to behave a little bit differently. Like you have to have a little bit more swagger, and you have to have, a little bit more.
The word was gravitas.
Gravitas. Right?
I remember that. I was like, I don't think that's a real word.
No, and his response was, Roger, you don't have much gravitas, which is great, which is totally true. And what I learned from that discussion is the board is actually giving him bad feedback. Nick doesn't need more swagger or more gravitas. Nick just needs to be Nick. And when he does that, so many good things happen. And this is a perfect example that you got off script and you became this very authentic version of yourself, which is, I'm going to be the CEO, leader, father, husband, friend that I am, all in this one package. A lot of it clean, a lot of it messy, but I'm going to be very open and very honest with the world about who that is. And you can either accept it or not. And I think the overwhelming feedback you got was that we not only accept it, we embrace it and we love it.
At Gainsight, it's been amazing to have a relationship with Battery and Roger as we've kind of grown through different phases. Where we're at now is, we've raised, a Series E, we've raised about 150 million total. We've kind of got to that, growth stage of kind of a company where it's about building that scale into the business. We've also seen this market that we're in, customer success, really go mainstream. We have this conference every year, and we had 4,200 people at this conference we call Pulse just a few weeks ago. And so now we see this opportunity to really make this a big mainstream software company, and obviously a community around that. And that involves kind of bringing in management at the next level. We just brought in a chief revenue officer to help kind of scale our sales operation. It involves scaling out the board, thinking about more independent directors, building repeatability into everything we do. And so it's just a different set of conversations than probably a couple years ago, where we're trying to figure out what is the market, and is there a product, and who's the buyer. But I'm excited for the journey.